this is Bruce, the Last Nail. This YouTube is going to be a little bit different. I'm basically going to be talking the whole way through and showing some examples of what I want to show you out there in YouTube land. Do you find in the so-called Boulder, Colorado bubble that meeting others can be quite a challenge, to say the least? Do you find that Boulder, Colorado, while bathed in its natural beauty, the Flatirons, Boulder Canyon, etc., clean, active, good schools, health-focused, can have its challenges, such as being expensive to live here, cliquish, hard to find community? Well, the reality is, I can't offer much advice about Boulder being an expensive place to reside. That some of the outlying communities, such as Louisville, Superior, Lafayette, Erie, and Longmont, are becoming expensive to live too. So with that said, I wanted to offer some advice to those of you who live in Boulder, find it challenging to connect with others in a real way, not superficially. Now, a backstory. I am not the least an expert in how to meet others than how to reach out in a sincere way. I do this about 200 to 300 times a day during my day job. I am not a relationship coach, a dating or marriage counselor, or a church care pastor. Who I am is an ordinary person whom about 12 years ago, back in my other home state of California, went through the breakup of a marriage, ending up divorced and unemployed. This was also at the beginning of the Great Recession of 2008. To say the least, those were tough times. Then, a year after the divorce, I made a decision to pack up, say goodbye to my friends and family in California, and move out here to the Denver, Colorado area and start a new life. I will say I was challenged to stay here in the Denver area. When I had heard that someone in California said, oh, he'll be back, and of course who will remain anonymous, meaning that I would come back to California after my adventure here in Colorado ran its course. I have been back to California a few times to visit, but not to relocate there. I moved here to Boulder back near the end of 2015. While I was still living in California during early 2009, a friend suggested, after hearing from me that I found it difficult to meet new people to go hiking with, she suggested that I join her hiking group. I said, great. How do I do that? That's when she said, well, you have to go online and look up a website called meetup.com. Now, about a year earlier, I had heard about Facebook, the fledgling YouTube, but not meetup.com. So the first thing I said after hearing the term meetup.com, isn't that some kind of an online dating site? I was assured that it wasn't, that it was also very easy to sign up, and that it was a way to get together with others who had common interests. Now, another backstory. September 11th, 2001. The United States was attacked by terrorists. New York twice, Washington, D.C., in United Flight 93 over the skies of Pennsylvania. Now forward to June of 2002. Scott Heiferman and 5 other co-founders start Meetup.com. The idea came as a result of Heiferman meeting his neighbors in New York for the first time after the attacks on the Twin Towers. Meetup was originally intended to focus on hobbies and interests. It was popularized by the campaign of presidential candidate Howard Dean back in 2004. If you want to look into the history of meetup.com, you can check it out in Wikipedia for a write-up. Now, why I mention this to the people from Boulder County, and really any other community that you come from that you're finding it difficult to meet others, back in the 2000s, things were quite the opposite of what is happening today with the COVID-19 pandemic. There were people who needed help, a structure to come out of isolation. Living in a college town with Colorado University, Boulder nearby, students there have the structure, during normal times that is, to meet others. So what happens afterwards? We meet others through our work, churches, and social activities. So I can't promise you through meetup.com that you will find meaningful relationships. That is your doing, not mine. So I do not take any responsibility regarding any relationship successes and disappointments. That is yours. However, looking at meetup.com for groups, say, within 50 miles of Boulder, and I am going to read this, I find outdoor recreation, hiking, faith-based singles, acoustic music, over 40 adventurers, friendship groups, baby boomers, Denver singles, lovers of life, golf, mindfulness, mountain club, business referral, local area fun groups, 20s and 30s, Zen meditation, men's rugby, yoga, spiritual growth, AWS, walking, fasting, just plain awesomeness, singles over 60, ski and ride, collective soccer, improv, real estate investors, writers, photography, online course creators, art, fun, and games. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. You are the one who are going to have to look this up. Unless you have no interests at all, which I doubt, you can find something. Now keep in mind, of course, during these times of social distancing, that many of the meetups are kept small, but with persistence, you should be able to find something or someone to meet up with. I have met some wonderful people and some people who have become friends over the years. I'm also going to give you a little bit of help. Hi, this is Bruce, the Last Nail. I am also a disembodied voice and the help that I promised you. The first thing I want you to do is get online and go to Google and go to the search box and enter meetup.com. So after you enter meetup.com, you should get up to the Meetup We Are What We Do page. And when you double click that, then you should get to a Discover Events for all the things you love. And I want you to double click Join Meetup. So after you double click the sign up page, it should get you to a page that says continue with Facebook, Google, Apple, or sign up with email. So click the option that you prefer. So now when you get to the sign up page, just go ahead and follow meetup.com's directions, and this is where the fun starts. Now the next few pages that you'll be looking at on YouTube are obviously for groups and events that are within 50 miles of Boulder, Colorado, but you could be really anywhere in the world. It's just a matter of where you would like to find community and other people with special interests, such as yours, to share with. Once you find a meetup group that shares your interests, then you go ahead and choose Join Group. Now, each meetup group has a leader, and that leader may have some questions, usually some general questions to ask, and please answer those questions as honestly as you can. Usually the purpose of the questions is to keep the meetup groups safe. Remember, meetup groups are not dating groups, and they are not pickup groups, so group safety is a high priority with Meetup.com. So this is Bruce, the last nail, and it's time to wind up and move on. But I have a question for you. If you could comment below, what structures out there have you used to meet other people besides Meetup.com if you haven't used Meetup.com already? Thank you and goodbye.